Okay, so the buyer sale. Congratulations. Now you've got your buyer through. We've gone ahead and we've opened up escrow. And now the question is, where do you go from here? Okay, so obviously the first thing you want to do, okay, is let Debbie know. All right, let Debbie know so she can go ahead and start the file. All right, the file starts with Debbie, and then she's able to go ahead and get the paperwork collected and tell you what you need. Okay. Now you've already gone ahead and you've opened up escrow, all right? And what escrow does from this point is they start going ahead and creating the title report, okay? Now the title report, all right, the title report is due from the escrow company. You're supposed to get it within 5 days. Now, ordinarily, you'll get it within 2 or 3, but sometimes it may take 5. And if you're not getting it by 5, then you need to find out why, okay? But in the title report, what it does is it tells you a couple things. It tells you what's called the Schedule A. And the Schedule A is just simply saying what they cover, as far as the title is concerned. And then they have what's called the Schedule B. Schedule B and the exceptions of the title, okay? That tells you what they don't cover. Things like easements, water rights, gold, things like that, okay? Things that they don't cover, all right? It's important that you pay attention to the Schedule B to find out what kind of things are not going to be covered, all right? Now remember, under the residential real estate contract, your buyer has 5 days, if I'm not mistaken. You might want to double check that, but they have some time to review that, okay? And they have to review it and approve it. If it has anything in there that can't, like clouds on title or something like that they don't agree with, then they can go ahead and get out of the contract and get their earnest money back, all right? So Schedule B is what you want to get from the title company. You want to get this whole title report. So while they're doing that, all right, at the same time, you're letting your buyer know, okay, hey, you have a right to inspect the property. Generally speaking, it's for 10 days, okay? You have a 10-day inspection period. You want to go ahead and help your buyer select, okay, select a home inspector. The rule is that you give them 2 or 3 names and let them pick one, okay? Look, I like to use the same people over and over, people I know and people I can trust. People I know who are going to tell them the real deal, okay? And not stick them, some outrageous fee. I like Seal of Approval, okay? And Seal of Approval is a great firm. They're good with the clients. Tell them what's good to worry about, what's not to worry about, that sort of thing, okay? But select the home inspection company, all right? You want to go ahead and select termite inspectors, okay? You want to go ahead and say, okay, well, let's see, on a house, we need to have it termite inspected unless they're paying cash, okay? A good company for that is Phoenix Pest Control, all right? That's a good company. James Romero, I've worked with him for, oh goodness, 13, 14 years now, and he's a great guy. Him and his crew over there, they do a bang-up job at a great price, okay? Very competitive, very thorough, okay? Then, of course, if it's land, okay, you want to check and see if they want to do a survey or a septic. You might want to see if they want to do a septic inspection of some sort, okay? But whatever it is, if it's a house, then you want to go ahead and set up a time, okay, that you can try and knock them all out at the same time, okay, especially the home inspector and the termite inspector. Say, okay, well, Mr. Buyer, we need to do a home inspection, okay? So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and do you have any preference on a home inspector? Do you have any preference on a termite inspector? No, okay, well, I've got a couple great people I know that I can work with. I'll talk to them and see what's a good time. What is good days for you, okay? When the buyer tells you, well, look, I can meet people on Tuesday out there, get a couple days. I can meet people out there Tuesday or Wednesday or something like that. Then go back and talk to your home inspector and your termite inspector and say, okay, well, look, what kind of times do you have available? We can do, all of us can get together Tuesday at 2. The buyer can also make, at say 4 or whatever, okay? Do not let the buyer start dictating times, okay? The buyer's going to want to say, well, I want to do it after work on Wednesday at 5 o'clock. No, okay? That doesn't work. Look, you're buying the frickin' house, okay? You're having these people, okay, on their hours, not realtor hours, okay? The homeowner, the future homeowner, the buyer, okay, if they can't make it until, 5 in the morning or, 5 in the afternoon or whatever, then do it on a weekend, okay? But try and work with home inspectors and termite inspectors, try and work with them so they're not out at all hours of the night and day. They'll love you for it. They'll stay with you. They'll give you a great break on prices and things like that if they know that you're working with them, okay? But anyway, then they got 10 days to do these inspections, okay? If it's land, then they need to go ahead and provide a survey. They need to go ahead and if they're going, or even with a house, they may need to have a septic tank inspection, okay? The septic is usually handled by the seller, okay? So you may want to remind the agent on the other end, hey, look, we need to go ahead and get a septic inspection. Were you guys planning on doing that towards the end of closing or what? But just remember that it needs to be done. If it's a bank-owned property, you may be responsible for that. So keep in mind with the contract, what the contract says. But by and large, for the most part, this is what you need to worry about, the home inspection and the termite inspection, okay? Now, once this part is done, okay, you want to try and knock this out early. All right, try and get that done first 3, 4, 5 days tops of your inspection period, okay? And try and do it in one shot, okay? Because you don't have a whole lot of time to be going back for the home inspection and then going home and then going back for the termite inspection. It's a waste of time. It takes a lot of time and you don't have a lot of it to waste to begin with, okay? So try and knock them all out at the beginning. Now, once you've done that, all right, collect those reports. They will go ahead, most of the time they'll tell you, okay, at the time of the inspection what they found. The home inspector will go through with the buyer and point out, okay, you need to be worried about this, you don't need to worry about that, this is something you need to change, worry about this, don't worry about that. They're going to point it out, okay? The termite inspector will say, okay, well, over here, this is where some termites are, or over there, we don't need to worry about this. All these sorts of things. They'll point it all out for you at the time, generally speaking. But then they will also provide a written report, okay? That will come, okay, a lot of times within the first, day or so after the inspection. That's why you want to try and schedule this as soon as possible, okay? So by the time day 4 comes along, you've opened up escrow. Now you're day 4 or 5, maybe 5, 6 of your inspection period, okay? You can go ahead and obtain, okay, any other inspections that you need. So for example, if you need to go out and get, someone to look at the air conditioning, okay? You have time for that. If you need someone to go ahead and check into the flood zone, you have time for that. If you need to have something else checked or get bids or whatever, you have time for that. Okay, so obtain bids, okay, or additional inspections. This is happening between day 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, something like that, okay? Now, make sure that on day 9, okay, not day 10, don't wait till the last minute, okay? Day 9, that's when you start going ahead and submitting your BINSR, okay? And your BINSR, okay, is your buyer's inspection notice of seller repairs, okay? And all you're asking for is what, if anything, you want the buyer to repair or the seller to repair, okay? Now, it cannot be cosmetic items, okay? Can't be cosmetics. So don't be retarded and go in there and ask for something like new paint, all right? Don't be, a fool and say, hey, I want new carpet, okay? Can't be cosmetics. It's got to be something that's health and safety nature, okay? Something like that would be, GFCIs, okay, which is ground fault circuit interrupters, okay? It could be, wiring issues, okay? Something along those lines, okay? And when you get all that collected, okay, don't come to the buyer or the seller, okay? And remember, there's a lot of stuff that needs to go with the BINSR negotiation. We'll go into that in another video. But as far as BINSR negotiating is concerned, don't go in there, just to suffice it to say, don't go in there with a whole laundry list of things you want done and expect that your deal's going to make it, because it's not, okay? So, day 9, you have your BINSR, you collect all your reports, you collect all your bids, the seller's entitled to that. Go ahead and send it all over to them, all right? So they have full disclosure of everything you found, okay? And that helps you in a multitude of reasons, and I'll show you why during the BINSR negotiation. So anyway, I hope this is helpful. At this point, again, the last thing you're waiting for is just the Binzer response. Okay, Binzer response. Okay, and that will pretty much sum up the opening escrow down to the Binzer response period for you. So, hope that helps. Take care. Make it a powerful selling day. Bye-bye.